Lack of confidence is not attractive. When you're in the lower levels of consciousness, the narcissist will pick up on it and will have a field day. Or you can raise your levels of consciousness, which brings you self-love for yourself. And you have a goal in mind that doesn't have to do with, I have to have a man in my life. I have to have someone. No, you don't have to have anybody. When you're in the levels of power, you want somebody in your life. You want Mr. Handsome Blue Eyes. And you become a lot more attractive, and you don't attract these guys that are narcissists. You're not even on that level because you're up here in power. Only when you're enforced do you even attract guys like that, because you're missing the red flags, you're living in limiting beliefs, and you lack confidence. Hey, Kathy Owen here, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about transforming your life in magic fashion. My name is Kathy Owen, certified fitness trainer and life coach since 2002. As a survivor of complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse, today I help others, of course, you know what I'm going to say, transform their lives in magic fashion. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how I coached a client of mine into true and lasting love and a healthy relationship. Before I even get started, I've got to show you the graph that my wonderful therapist Sherry showed me. And it shows infatuation going straight up, like right that, like just like right there, boom. Goes up really fast. And unconditional love takes its time. Over time, infatuation will meet unconditional love, provided you don't fall for these pitfalls that we're going to discuss today. I'm going to discuss 3 pitfalls that we fall into when we're infatuated. And then I'm going to give you solutions to dealing with these pitfalls exactly as I taught my client, and now she's in true and lasting love. Let's get right to it. The first pitfall we fall into is we have limiting beliefs. For example, they say, Kathy, I'm too old to find love. Or, I don't know, my picker's broken. I just pick the wrong guy all the time. Or, why do I fall in love and I give him my whole heart and then he just turns around and says, and he treats me like crap. Well, I understand. Let me talk about a limiting belief that I encountered on my journey. Sorry, Mom. It's not about you. It's all about me. So don't even get your feelings hurt about this, because I learned a valuable lesson that I now teach today. I had been dating this guy and I was in my mid 40s, and I had been dating him for about a year, and he was a great guy in general, but there were red flags that we're going to talk about. I broke up with him. And when I broke up with him, my mom really liked him. My family really liked him. And my mom was like, you know, you're getting older, Kathy. It's going to be harder to find a great guy. And that, my friends, is a limiting belief. And I had to fix that in my mind. It had nothing to do with my mom, but that was a limiting belief. Stick around, because I'm going to give you solutions to those limiting beliefs. Here is number 2 pitfall that I ran into when I'm coaching clients on true and lasting love. You miss red flags. You miss them, like significantly, because our brains go into infatuation. There's our chemicals that go off in our brain that feel fabulous, fantastic, and wonderful. But when you're doing it in there and you have no control over your most powerful factor that you own, your mind, you lose that control. That is a huge pitfall. However, I'm going to describe the types of red flags that are okay and not okay. I met Kenny and he's very wealthy. I was very attracted to that. And the shallow me was very attracted to that. Go watch my video on conditional and unconditional love. I'll put a link in the description below because I was in a shallow relationship. That was red flag number one, but I didn't even see that. And he had this cigarette boat. A cigarette boat, people call it a dick boat because perhaps they're compensating for something. I don't know, just saying. But anyways, it's a race boat and it was very fancy. The name of his boat was Trust Me. Yeah, trust me. And that's not even the red flag I'm going to be discussing right now. You see, we went to Lake Travis with some friends of ours and had a great weekend out on the lake, riding this fancy boat and going around. And, you know, I'm in my late mid-20s. Cadillac had it going on at this time. And we were pulling up to this club and I was at the end of the boat at the front of it. And there was music playing. So Cadillac started dancing. Boom, 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 boom. In my bikini and all that. Well, guys were paying attention to me. Oh my God, really? Yeah. Oh, this pissed Kenny off. This pissed him off to the hilt. And that's not even the red flag I'm going to tell you about. Because what happened was when we got back to the dock, he pulled me off of the boat with both hands, pulled me and left fingerprint marks all over my arms. Yeah. I left Lake Travis with one of the girls. She took me home. Obviously, that's a huge red flag. The Cadillac didn't see it because I was stuck in the pitfalls that we're going to talk about today. A healthy red flag would be like this. I've been dating Eddie for 7 years. He is very attractive, handsome man. Beautiful blue eyes. Ooh. And he's got a great personality and he's hilarious. Funny, funny, funny. And he's also a huge flirt and a huge sucker for women's attention. So what does Eddie do? He flirts all the time. Most of the time, I'm okay with that. That was a red flag for me with Eddie. But what happens with Eddie is that's something I love about him. That's something I love about his personality. Nobody is perfect. If he didn't flirt, if I said, oh my God, you offended me that you're flirting, I wouldn't like the guy. Because first of all, that wouldn't be attractive. That wouldn't be his personality. I'd be shelling it down. A man who pulls you off of their boat and leaves thumbprints on your arms, that's a red flag where you go, oh God. Another red flag was the freaking boat itself and the name of the boat. And these all happened probably within the first couple of months of us dating. I was stuck in infatuation, chemicals going off in my brain, and missed the whole thing. Don't worry, I got your solutions coming up in a minute. Number 3, where your attention goes, your mind follows. You have no mind control whatsoever when you're infatuated unless you practice these muscles and solutions that I'm going to teach you. But think about it for a minute. What you're focusing on expands. And when we're infatuated, all we can think about are those blue eyes and that beautiful, handsome guy, great personality. The shallow part of me was focusing on a money relationship and somebody that was going to take care of me, I guess, or give me fancy things. And when you're focused on those things, your relationships are shallow. Yeah. Those three things right there are pitfalls that we fall into when we're infatuated with somebody, which infatuation, remember, it goes right up the chart just like that. And then unconditional love has peaks and spikes and eventually catches up to where infatuation goes in the first few minutes. So let's catch on to some solutions. I'm glad you asked. Number one, revision. Really, Kathy? How do I revise stuff? So you start by building that muscle now. Neville Goddard teaches us this wonderful, very powerful, very impactful method. And what he teaches us is you go from the end of your day, right before you fall asleep, and you think about your day. You go from the right before you go to your bedtime routine, your work routine, your morning routine. You go through each of those things and you discover what you liked and what you didn't. The things you didn't like, you rewrite them in your mind so that they become more powerful. You say, okay, Kathy, I can do that, but how is that going to let me overcome my limiting beliefs? When you build that muscle of subconscious reprogramming or revision of your day, you start to build that muscle. When you build that muscle, you're able to use it when your brain is in infatuation chemicals. Solution number 2. Mental diet, mental diet, mental diet. If we think over 90,000 thoughts a day, what's the quality of those thoughts? When you're infatuated, I would say 85,000 of those thoughts are about that person that you're infatuated with. That's what's happening in your brain if you don't control it. But a mental diet will build that muscle so you can control it. And so I put my client on a mental diet. How did I do that? I told her to become aware of her thought habits and become aware of what are you thinking. Now, she wasn't in a relationship at the time I taught her this, but what I taught her was, look, we all have negative thoughts. But how long do you spend on those negative thoughts? How long are you dwelling on them? And then when you do figure out you're thinking a negative thought, do you shame yourself? Those are two important questions to ask yourself, because a mental diet makes you aware of where you're thinking these horrible thoughts and the low quality thoughts. And then you come to a realization, I'm not going to dwell on this. I'm going to think a more powerful thought. And don't worry, number 4 solution is going to be the answer to put all the pieces together. Solution number 3, build confidence in yourself. Love yourself first. I know you're going, Kathy, I already know that, but I don't know how to do that. I'm still over here dwelling on this guy that just broke up with me, but I want him back. I want him back. Guess what? He'd come back to you if you built confidence. And when he comes back to you, that confidence is going to turn you away from him because you're going to be like, ugh, he's not that cute. He ain't all that. He got a boat that says, trust me, what was I freaking thinking? I know, I love it. When you build confidence in yourself, you become more attractive to the right person. You get that? When you build confidence in yourself, you become more attractive to the right person. Here we go. I had no confidence in myself at all. Well, I guess because I'd been living in shame and I had attracted a man that was abusive. I couldn't even see the red flags because I was infatuated. And that's not going to help you, obviously. But how does someone build confidence, especially when they're down here in shame, doubt, fear, indecision, unsureness, confusion, can't even see the red flags? Well, you build that muscle with the mental diet and with rewriting limiting beliefs. Not really easy, but it is. It really and truly is, because you put yourself in a better position. You get in touch with infinite intelligence, which is your intuition and your guide. How do you do that? How does one build confidence? It has a whole lot to do with your mental diet and rewriting those limiting beliefs, but it has a lot to do with your routines as well. Consider your day. How do you do your day every single day? Do you do it from a place of power, or do you do it because you have to? A place of power comes from a place where, oh, I want to. I want to get up at 4 in the morning, hit the gym, get some positive thoughts going in my mind by listening to powerful podcasts. Yeah, that's my morning routine. I don't get up at 4, but 4:45, I am awake. And I am building habits that make me confident inside. When I'm confident inside and I trust my intuition, aka infinite intelligence, I realize there's no limiting beliefs, none at all. There's no obsessive thoughts. I have control over my mind, and then I don't drift. What is drifting? Well, let's go to solution number 4. Drifting is a concept brought up by Napoleon Hill in the book Outwitting the Devil. And the book title says it all. The devil is that infatuation, those brain chemicals that go on and blah, blah, blah. You don't even think, you don't even know, you're lost. And the devil wants you to do that. He told Napoleon Hill this. Why? Why are you going to drift into unconsciousness, unknowingness? Outwitting the Devil, link in the description below. Probably my number 3 top books. Look at my links. I got my books all listed in my links now. And last, but certainly not least, and probably the most powerful thing you can do in your life, no matter what, is raise your levels of consciousness. When you're infatuated and when you're not controlling your mind, you are going to be in fear, shame, doubt, indecision. That's no confidence. That's no confidence. There's nothing there that's going to help you in a relationship. You're only going to attract the narcissist, the complete and total narcissist. You're going to be miserable. But when you gain courage and go up those levels of consciousness, I will put a picture right here of those levels of consciousness. It's in the book Power versus Force by David Hawkins. You are enforced when you're in these lower levels of consciousness. So you're forcing a relationship. And the reason it doesn't work is because you're stuck with a narcissist who has a boat named Trust Me. Yeah, it happened in real life. Go look at my video on conditional love and unconditional love, and you will have a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your husband will marry a stripper. Your husband will have an affair with a stripper, and then she'll try to take your kids away. That happened in real life too. Lack of confidence is not attractive. When you're in the lower levels of consciousness, the narcissist will pick up on it and will have a field day. Or you can raise your levels of consciousness, which brings you self-love for yourself. And you have a goal in mind that doesn't have to do with, I have to have a man in my life. I have to have somebody. No, you don't have to have anybody. When you're in the levels of power, you want somebody in your life. You want Mr. Handsome. blue eyes. And you become a lot more attractive, and you don't attract these guys that are narcissists. You're not even on that level because you're up here in power. Only when you're in force do you even attract guys like that, because you're missing the red flags, you're living in limiting beliefs, and you lack confidence. So that, my friends, is how I coached my client to find true and lasting love. Quit letting limiting beliefs overtake you. Control your mind. Don't drift, because that's what the devil wants. And then raise your levels of consciousness, raise up into power, and ooh, ooh, ooh. It's the icing on the cake. The heart-shaped cake. You know, the one you've been thinking about having with the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with. I ain't saying that's going to happen, but you raise your levels of consciousness, and that, my friends, is where your power lies. For you no longer attract the narcissist. And on top of that, you are exuding confidence. Exuding confidence. It's my hope